To the Employment Court.
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister of Labour knows what hundreds of thousands of small businesses in New Zealand also know, that the changes the government made last week will be a right to hire clause. They'll see hundreds of thousands of New Zealanders have an opportunity to get a job, something they would otherwise be excluded from.
Keith Locke.
Supplementary.
Excuse me, I've called Keith Locke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the Prime Minister have confidence in his Minister of Police, given her statement on television last night that, quote, the Special Investigation Group is not actually targeting groups, but individuals who may be involved in criminal activities, end quote, when on the 4th of July 2007, the SIG sent its paid agent, Rob Gilchrist, an email asking, quote, what is happening with climate change groups in Auckland, who is involved, what actions might they be considering in the future, and end quote. And that email also asked similar groups in relation to anti-war groups, and does he justify that broad spectrum spying by covert agents on protest groups?
Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I have complete confidence in the Minister of Police, who yesterday, quite rightfully so, called in the Commissioner to seek his assurances that the Special Investigation Group was carrying out its activities properly. The Minister received that assurance, and might I add that if the member wants to come somehow to the support or aid of Mr Gilchrist, maybe Mr Gilchrist would like to give back the $600 a week he's been receiving from the police.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, what confidence can the Prime Minister have in the Minister of Finance, Bill English, when he told the country before the elections that New Zealanders would be better off under National's tax package, but when he comes to present a financial veto to the House that would have given credits to anyone who was worse off, he sought to veto that legislation because it showed that the national tax package ripped $730 million out of the pockets of low-income earners. $730 million. And does he accept Mr English's explanation that families don't need any help, they've already had enough already?
Speaker.
Right Honourable Prime Minister may choose to answer one of those questions.
Well, Mr Speaker, I have complete and utter confidence in the Minister of Finance, and the reason for that, of course, is his first actions as Minister of Finance under my government was to ensure that taxes would be lowered on New Zealanders. The first actions of the Minister of Finance that sits behind the Leader of the Opposition was to raise taxes.
Keith Locke.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. How can the Prime Minister have confidence in the Minister of the Police when the paid agent Rob Gilchrist was forwarding emails coming from the Green Parliamentary Office to the Special Investigation Group? And does he think that police spying on MPs and their staff is appropriate in a democratic society?
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I think the member needs to accept that the police should act to protect the security of New Zealanders and our communities, and in doing so they may engage a wide range of methods for achieving that, providing it's legal. As I said earlier, the Minister sought an assurance from the Police Commissioner that his activities were legal, that they were with foundation, and I accept the Commissioner's perspective on that matter.
Supplementary question, Mr Speaker.
Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
What confidence can the Prime Minister have in the Minister of Housing, Phil Heatley, who spent the whole year telling this House that Housing New Zealand needed to do more for people on the waiting list, but whose first statement as Minister of Housing was to say that he was going to stop acquiring any new houses, and doing a flip-flop after that leaves the country in total confusion as to what he actually intends to do?
The Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker, I have complete confidence in the Minister of Housing, and they are under no confusion about what his job will be to do. And that, amongst other things, will be to fix up the fact that the government is currently a slum landlord for far too many state houses. And I don't know if the Minister of Opposition has actually, I don't know if the Leader of the Opposition's actually noticed, but those thousands of people that are living in garages in South Auckland didn't just happen to appear there on the 9th of November. They were there for years, and the government failed to address the issue.
Come to question number 2. Honourable Keith Locke.
Point of order.
Point of order.
I seek leave to table a statement made yesterday by Rochelle Rees on the listing questions asked of the agent Rob Gilchrist by the Police Special Investigation Group.
Is there any objection to that course of action? There is no objection. Point of order, Keith Locke.
I seek leave to table a sample of the 3 emails, a sample of the emails that Rob Gilchrist forwarded to the Special Investigation Group. These are emails from the Green Parliamentary Office.
Order. There are no order. Members, there is no interjections during a point of order. Is there any objection to that? Excuse me, could the member just resume his... The member will sit down while the speaker is on his feet. We just want to clarify, the member is seeking a point of order with respect to the leave being sought. Apologies.
Mr Speaker, I just want to clarify for Mr Locke whether or not those emails reveal any details of any police officers, including their email or addresses or names.
Order. I'm just seeking some advice on that request. Would the member please indicate whether there is any such identification that the member has sought?
There is no identification of any police officer. There is an email address, chuat@paradise.net.nz, which is a Special Investigation Group email.
Okay, is there any objection to that course of action? There is no objection. In the House granting the member leave to table those documents, I wish to clarify to all members the change in standing orders that has occurred since the last parliamentary term, and that is now documents do have to be tabled. There was a concern that, in fact, some members were seeking to table documents that didn't even exist. Under the new standing orders, under the new standing orders, the Speaker determines when documents will be tabled. I have determined that documents will be tabled the same day on which leave is granted by the House. Come now to question number 2.
Mr Speaker.
PESETA Sam Lotu-IIGA.
To the Minister of Finance.
Order. Please so.
To the Minister of Finance. Has the Minister seen any reports of government spending commitments which have no funding set aside to pay for them?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes, the Labor government made a number of spending commitments for which no funding was set aside. For instance, no funding was set aside for the